In my ongoing project to make my office look nice, I felt that getting a logo on my wall was paramount. Even more paramount was putting some LEDs on it to make it look even cooler and give some ambiance. I had a vague idea on how I wanted to solve this, but getting the drawings done in CAD makes it easier to see if you're on the right track. The profile of the logo is T-shaped, so I can mount the LEDs hidden on the back of the logo, and I added some 8mm holes on the back so I could use some simple mounts with carbon fiber rods as attachment points. Once I had the drawings completed, it was off to the printer. The filament for this project was sponsored by Polymaker. For this project I tested their PLA Polymax filament, which impressed me with its durability and ease of printing. This is a filament I'll be using for a future project that will be my biggest one yet. I had to split the parts in two to fit on my printer, so I used some superglue to attach them back together. Some rough sanding later to get rid of the worst layer lines and a small layer shift, I applied some hard coat from cosplayshop.be to get a smoother surface. After that dried, I did some more sanding. Usually I do another round of putty and sanding, but as I had a deadline for this project I decided to skip that and move along with the justification that it'll be black and in the background and matte, so any unevenness will be mostly invisible. This is what the kids would call copium. The attachment points were a lot simpler, where I printed a base piece, glued in some carbon fiber rods, then waited for them to dry. Hanging this on the wall was done rather haphazardly. I knew generally where I wanted it, I used a laser to get it straight, then marked where the first attachment point should go. When that was screwed into the wall, I could then put the others in place on the logo, mark where they should go on the wall, then screw them to the wall as well. I recently launched my Patreon, where you can get some behind the scenes look on my projects, some models that I design, and you get to help me choose my next personal project. The link is in the description. The other part of the logo was done the same way, with some care taken to make sure it lined up properly. I don't plan on using any glue on this, as the friction to get it in place is more than enough to keep it on the wall permanently. As for the LEDs, I went with some WS2812 5V strips that I glued on the backside of the logo. I don't trust the glue on these strips, so some dabs of hot glue are used to make sure they stay in place. After getting the strips installed, I had to solder on some wires to make it possible to attach the two parts of the logo together. I designed a small part to fit inside the cavity on the backside of the logo to house the microcontroller that will run WLED to control the lights. Making a part that fits snugly inside something else you've designed is such a great feeling. Some quick wiring later, a function test of the LEDs, a small dance as my girlfriend walked in, and I was ready to mount this on the wall. The only thing left to do was to pretty up the cable between the two parts of the logo and to tidy up some of the exposed wires. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, even though I gave myself a very tight deadline among all the other projects I'm currently working on. Turning this on when I'm in my office gives the room just that bit more awesomeness, and my plan going forward is to have this be part of my backdrop when I eventually rearrange my recording setup. Another piece of the puzzle is connecting this logo to my home assistant and have it turn on whenever I enter the office. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye!